Hi everybody, how are we all doing? I hope we're having a good weekend so far. So today is Saturday the 23rd of November 2013 and we're here with my very first sort of Arrow side videos, as I like to call it. It's known as the Arrow Character Spotlight. Okay, this is where I'll be doing videos talking about specific characters from the TV show and who they are and what their purpose is in the show, where they've been in the comics, if they're even devised from the comics or if they've just been devised for the show. So yeah, there's going to be some history, some background theories that I have about the characters, where they're going to go in the TV show, and yeah, just general knowledge about the character that people may not be aware of. Okay, so this week I decided to start off with none other than Slade Wilson himself, aka Deathstroke. He was actually first introduced as Deathstroke the Terminator. In fact, he was actually known as simply the Terminator, and he was created before the film itself came out. So his first introduction, when did he first come into play? Good Lord, it was way back. Well, it was well before the 1980. That was it. That was when he was first introduced in the New Teen Titans Volume 1, Number 2 comic book or graphic novel even at the time. He was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez, two exceptionally awesome comic book writers and artists. He is literally he's a mercenary for hire, world-known assassin. This guy uses up to 90% of his brain capacity, so he will literally outsmart you and outmaneuver you for everything that you are. He knows about the characters and their weaknesses, their strengths, and how he can counterattack their moves and such. I mean, I've read some comic books that he is featured in, and especially when he's taken on the entire Justice League by himself, it's just unbelievable. It really is. So who is actually Slade Wilson in particular? Well, Slade Wilson was actually well, his origin states here that he was 16 years old when he first enlisted in the United States Army. He lied about his age. So he is a veteran war hero. And if you remember also in the show, in the first season, his partner Billy Wintergreen was actually his Alfred in some sense, and he was also in the army as well. He worked with Slade. Slade and Billy did become really good friends. They both saved each other's lives at one point, and then there's a moment of where Billy actually they both have a bit of a confrontation with each other, and it is known that Billy, where is it? There was a section where I read about Wintergreen. Oh, sugar. Right. Well, I'll probably come back to it, but let me just talk a bit more about Slade anyway. Yeah, here we are. So there was a war in Vietnam that began to escalate, and Slade was shipped overseas in the war. His unit massacred a village, which sickened him, and then that's when he was rescued by SAS member Wintergreen, to whom he would later return the favour. So Wintergreen and, as I say, Slade really did become close friends. We actually then find out how that Slade, well, Deathstroke is more of a character in line with the Teen Titans. He's worked with them, he's worked against them, he's even been told to actually to kill them at one point as well. Some of them even including the likes of Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, Wonder Girl, Robin as well, and so he has faced off against the Teen Titans a number of times. And what actually makes him who he is now? This deadly Terminator of mercenary that he is. Well, he was part of an experiment, and this experiment was like the super soldier serum, in terms of Captain America, and he took this serum which gave him heightened strength and the ability to regenerate his skin, but unfortunately it didn't do it to his eye, because his eye was actually taken out before the experiment. Now, how was his eye taken out? It was actually done by his wife. Yes, he was actually married at one point. Her name was Adeline Kane, and she was the one who was responsible for taking his eye out. And they had two children, one called Joseph, another one called Rose. Rose, who we know very well, aka the Ravager. Joseph became a character named Jericho. So yeah, it is an interesting sort of relationship that they had there. I tell you, the family was indeed dysfunctional. So Slade has been in a various number of comic books. He did have his own run recently in the New 52, but that unfortunately is now ended, or due to end. They're cancelling that book, unfortunately. But obviously he is in Arrow as Slade Wilson at present. We have had two Deathstrokes appear in Arrow so far, one of them being Billy Wintergreen and the other one also being Slade Wilson. Whilst they're not actually called Deathstroke in the TV series, there is a moment where we see both Billy and Slade fight together back in season 1, and Slade stabs Billy in the right eye. You even see in season 2 we've got Slade who's wounded and injured to the point of where half of his face is painted black and the other half still remains the same. So there's so many hints in there about him and his destiny to become this mercenary for hire. He really is a powerful opponent. I mean, he's gone up against the likes of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. You name the characters, he's been up against them, and he has bested them at some points in their career. I mean, this guy has a lot of abilities going for him. He's got a master of various weapons, enhanced physical and mental attributes, regenerative healing factors I've already mentioned. He's an expert martial artist with hand-to-hand combat, swordsman and marksman. He can pretty much put Deadshot to shame at some point in ways as well. As I say, master tactician and strategist, because he does use up to 90% of his brain capacity. He really does know how to use his head. Skillful manipulator, controller, deceiver. He will get inside your head, and once he does, you better wish he'd never entered it in the first place. But yeah, he has appeared in so many different versions, and he was even in Identity Crisis. Identity Crisis is the one that I read where he actually did take on all the Justice League members, taking on the likes of Elongated Man, Flash, Zatanna, Hawkman, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Atom and Green Lantern, and he took every single one of them out, all except for Kyle Rayner. But like I say, it was just, oh my days, when you read Identity Crisis and you see how he takes them all out, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, he's, as I say, the New 52. He does have his own story. I think it's been cancelled. It's due to be cancelled. I can't remember if it's finished or not. But yeah, even now in Arrow, he's also appeared in television shows like Teen Titans, and he was even in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. In the Teen Titans, he was voiced by Ron Perlman. He was also in Smallville. I'm not going to talk too much about that one. But I think the best version of him yet, as well as also appearing in Young Justice. Bleh. But I think the best version of him yet for me has definitely got to be Arrow so far, because it's more of an origin for him as such. He's starting out. He is an agent of an Australian secret service called the ASIS. So him and Wintergreen were part of that establishment. They were brought to the island sent to the island to rescue Yao Fei. Then problems ensued from there. If you've watched season 1, and then if you're on to season 2, you'll know exactly what's going on there. So yeah, that is Deathstroke, the Terminator. He has appeared in other animated films, including Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, as Slade Wilson on Earth 2. Whilst he was a parallel of our version of Deathstroke, he was actually a good version of Deathstroke, and he actually eventually became the President of the United States. And he was also in Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox as well. So he's had a few appearances in a couple of movies here and there. but obviously, as I say, in the comics is where he is most known. He is a mercenary for hire, so he does get paid to take out people, and Joker has used him, Lex Luthor has used him, Black Mask has used him, you know, every sort of big time criminal or villain or supervillain has used Deathstroke to some degree, and there have been cases where Deathstroke knows when he finds out he's being used, he goes against the people who are paying him, and it's not very good when that happens. If you don't pay Deathstroke, or if you use him in a certain way, if he finds out that you have, it'll be the last thing you do, unless of course you're Lex or you're the Joker, you know exactly how to get out of things like that. But yeah, so that's Deathstroke, ladies and gentlemen, Slade Wilson. As I say, he has got 2 children, okay, Joseph and Rose. Rose is probably the most known out of the 2 of them, given that she's also nicknamed the Ravager. She was recently in Smallville comics, in the side story titled Titans, and if you want to see what happens in that one, I suggest you read those four chapters, because damn. So yeah, that's basically the first Arrow character spotlight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do want me to do more, I actually may hold a competition for an intro to be done for these specific type of videos, because it would be nice to get one done. So yeah, if you want more, and I'll also try and give some details over the next week or so about the intro competition, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, well, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.